Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Kaylee McMahon. You already know me, number one leading ladies. We have Katie Brinkley on today, and she's going to be discussing a little bit about her expertise. Katie, I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I won't do it justice.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on. My name is Katie Brinkley. I am a social media strategist. I've been helping businesses in the home industry and entrepreneurs with their social media for over 17 years. So I got started back in the days of MySpace, helping bands get started on social media, and have seen a lot of new trends get started, and happy to give you guys some tips.
Awesome. So since you have your own business, this will be fun. So we usually ask our guests 3 different questions. One of the first ones that's really important because when you have your own business, everyone thinks that it's this cool thing, like, you can travel whenever you want, you have freedom of time, whatever, and that is not reality. And most of us, especially when you're getting to traction, getting some kind of feedback, is this actually solving a problem? Am I actually making any money? There's a process of kind of either bootstrapping or whatnot. So what did it look like for you? Did you have to take out, put your first business loan on a credit card like I did, or did you have to live with your parents, or what did it take to go from I have an idea to get to traction?
Yeah, so I'm so glad that you asked that question, because I think that is one of the things that people think when they start their own business, like, oh, I can work as little as I want, I could work from anywhere, but that whole work from anywhere thing is like a double-edged sword. So I had a fantastic job. I got started in radio. I was a radio broadcaster for the Rockies and the Broncos, and then I got moved into the marketing side of things. I had my dream job as marketing manager for the TV station, and then whenever 2 large companies come through, there's positions that are eliminated. So my position was eliminated, and that's where I was like, well, now what? So that I was kind of just thrown into entrepreneurship. I didn't really plan on it. I was like, okay, well, I'll just do this on the side until I find my next corporate gig. And one job turned into another and turned into another. And before I knew it, I had more clients. I was making more money than I did when I was at my corporate job. I was ecstatic. But at the same time, after I delivered my second child, I was in the hospital working, like between just giving birth. I was still posting and crafting stuff for social media. So I think that it is a double-edged sword, and it can be really hard to not to realize that sometimes. But that's where, again, as your business grows, that's when you can start delegating different tasks out to make it so that you do have that freedom and the ability to work from anywhere at any time.
Now, did you, as far as traction goes, knowing that you're getting more clients, did you wait until seeing, okay, I've got 10 clients or whatever before saying, okay, I feel like I can hire someone else or start delegating? When did you make that decision?
Yeah, delegation is huge. And I think that as an entrepreneur, that's the hardest thing for us to do, because no one can do our job as good as us, right? And so it can be hard letting go of some of the ropes and giving out some of those tasks that, to help our business grow. And once you do that, though, that really is what will help your business go to that next level. When you're like, okay, well, does it make sense for me to actually be scheduling these posts? Does it make sense for me to be, doing the accounting? Wouldn't it just be easier if I had paid somebody to do that, and then I could focus my time on the other aspects of my business that I'm more passionate about? And I think that is really just the number one tool to really kind of help you grow, is to delegate those tasks. It wasn't until I was about 2.5 years into my business that I realized, okay, this is a legit business. I'm making more money. I have steady flow income coming. It's about time I maybe grew. And that's when I hired my first employee, my virtual assistant.
Was that like an executive assistant?
So she's my virtual assistant. So she handles a lot of emails. She handles a lot of my podcast. So I also have a podcast. So she handles a lot of my podcast interviews. She handles, just a lot of the extra things that I didn't realize how much time I was putting into. And once I took those off my plate, I was like, oh my gosh, I can get more clients in now.
Yeah.
So
I can have more meetings. I can actually go make money. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Okay, just curious, because everyone has a different, realization point where they're like, okay, I'm going to either be a sole proprietor forever and, never be able to scale, or I can have other people help. So it was 2.5 years or so. That sounds same here. Now, Katie, some of the other questions we like to ask of our guests on the show, I'm trying to think which one I want to ask first. What has been your biggest, what's been your biggest lesson?
You know what? I think that it really ties into the last question that you asked, which was when did you decide that this was a real business? And that was, once I realized I was making more money, I was able to delegate the tasks out. That was the light bulb of like, okay, this is for real. Like I can grow. This is the real deal. I can hire someone to do this. Maybe I can start bringing in this aspect of my business. And that really was like the turning point for my business, is once I started delegating different tasks out. Because again, as sometimes it can be hard to kind of let go of different projects that you know that you can do the best. But then if you train somebody the right way, or if you find somebody that really aligns with you and your messaging, it's the perfect fit. And again, you can your business will go upwards.
Now let's go into that a little bit deeper. So you said, so obviously you can't just go make the mistake I had where I'm like, oh, I'll just hire someone who says they can do what I can do. But again, no one is inside your head. No one has your vision. Nobody knows exactly like the messaging that you want when you're even doing ad copy or doing email copy, anything. So there's got to be like a training process. So you mentioned, or a handing off process. What is the most effective way you found to teach other people what to do and then hand it off?
I think that's one of the hardest things is trying to train somebody and find that perfect fit. Just like you, it took me a long time to find my VA, because like now that I found her, I'm like, I can never lose her, because she's just the perfect fit. And it took about 6 months of just trying to find the right person to come in. Once I found her, what I do, I don't know if you're familiar with Loom. Loom, and I will record what I am doing as I'm doing it, and then send it off to her so she knows exactly this is how it should be done. This is how the tool looks, and that way she can see, have a video tutorial to watch it. And I had to do the work anyways, so might as well just record it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do as well. There's some things where I'm like, I can't really take a Loom video of me doing certain things, but like having like an SOP or standard operating procedure, that's kind of what we're working on, where there's like one document that has like, if you need this document, here's the link to it. Or if you need this video, here's the link to it. And then step 2, 3, 4. And then, yeah, exactly.
Yes. It takes so much time off your plate because you've already done it once. You had to do it anyways.
And you have to keep doing it. Yeah.
It's great.
Exactly.
Loom was a total game changer for me and my assistant.
And for those of you who are listening and watching out there, if you're not familiar with Loom, you can get a free account. So that's something that, there are other features later on if you need to upgrade, but you can definitely do it for free. So it's not something to forget about, I guess. Now, Katie, one of the other questions I wanted to ask, or one of the last questions I'm going to ask, is what has been your biggest win?
Yeah, I feel like we're all coming back to my assistant. Like that really was my biggest win, was when I found her, because it allowed me to grow. It allowed me to scale. It allowed me to, okay, well, now I have my podcast, and now I have time to do this, and now I have time to do all these other things that really took my business to that next step. And the biggest win was just hiring somebody else to come help. And from there, then I was able to hire another person to come help with emails. And then I was able to hire another person to come and write website copy. And then it's like, now I have all this time to do the other parts of my business that I'm passionate about. And I think that, again, I feel like I've said this over and over, but really delegation has been huge for helping my business grow, and just letting go of the leash a little bit and giving it some slack, because that's where not everybody started their business to do everything. And I don't think they realize that all the things is to do when they start their own business. And so let the people that do that stuff do it, delegate it out, hire the people to come and help you, because that's really how you're going to grow.
Yeah. Now, we went into the kind of the details on how to sort of train somebody, or how to share information to train somebody. But when it comes to, how do I want to phrase this question? When it comes to delegating to other people, how do you decide what chunk of things to delegate first, or what gets the first level priority? Because I've made the mistake of saying, okay, here's my Trello board of all the things that are to do, in progress, whatever, just do it all, and then they're like, well, I need a priority level. And so then, most of the time when you're starting, you kind of have to both put a game plan together where you're both working side by side and saying, okay, let's split up this. Well, how do you decide what to split up or what to hand off first?
I love that you brought up Trello, because Trello is a fantastic tool. I'm sure that you have that in the show notes or whatever, but it is a great tool. Asana is another great project management tool. My assistant just likes Google Sheets. So we have a bunch of different sheets of daily tasks, weekly tasks, monthly tasks, and then random tasks. And in the random tasks, there's due dates. So that way she knows, like, okay, this is where I need to go every day. This is where I need to go and check things up, the update for like random. But we know, and then she has a little X that she puts next to it and the date that she completed it. So I can go in and see exactly where she is with all the tasks, or if she, she missed something last week, like, hey, I noticed that this didn't happen on Wednesday. Can you tell me why? And so it really just makes it a lot easier. So, even if you don't want to do Trello or Asana or another ClickUp, another project management tool, good old Google Sheets is a great tool to use too, because it's all through the cloud.
Google Sheets. Of course, I'm taking some notes, because I always get to learn something from everybody who's on the podcast, which is cool. So you get your story out there, and I get to learn a little bit. So I get some joy out of doing these interviews. Katie, what would be your number one word of advice for any business owner, or especially, I guess, in your industry, with what you do? What would be the first big gold nugget you'd give to somebody that's wanting to pursue doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I think that one of the things that I like to try to tell people to do, like for all my clients, is to sit down and make out a scheduler for your social media, utilizing a scheduler. So, because as an entrepreneur, not everybody wants to do what I do. Not everyone wants to spend all day on social media. But that's where having a scheduler really kind of takes some of the weight off of your shoulders, so that you can, again, find other time to focus in on your business. So there's a number of them out there. The one that I like is actually very similar to the other thing I mentioned earlier. It's called Loomly, Loomly. And you can schedule to every single social media channel out there that you want to be a part of. You can schedule to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Google My Business. And it is a great tool for you to, again, set out your social media in a schedule, so you're only having to focus in on like maybe an hour a week of scheduling it. And then the rest of the time you can actually be on the platform and being social and engaging in, what the whole platform was built for, just engaging with other people and learning about them.
Now on that, because that's actually a new tool I've never heard of. We use Hootsuite right now. So for example, what is the cost difference between Loomly and Hootsuite? And then the point was that we wanted to use something that you could just post one time and it would just go, For example, on Marketing Monday, we'll do one post and it will go to 15 different social media channels.
Yep.
Is it similar? What's the difference?
Yeah, so it's, I really like it because I feel like it's more cost effective than Hootsuite. And it has a very good user interface. So it's all in steps. Like, okay, step one is what day and time. Step two is what platforms you want to post to, and you can just click all the different platforms. And step three, you can actually do like the base post or the generic post. So if you were doing a video with a generic description. And then step four, you can actually choose each social media platform that's going to go to and change it out. So, like on Instagram, you should have 30 hashtags. And so if you want to put 30 hashtags in the first comment, you can change it up and put that on Instagram. And then on Facebook, you can change it up too. So, and you can even switch out images for each platform too. So I think that it's just very step-by-step and very easy to navigate. So that, and it's great too for the approval process, because then your assistant can then say, okay, this has been scheduled. Can you come and take a look at it? All you have to do is just go and be like, okay, yep, this is approved. And then it'll be scheduled out and ready to go out there. So it's a great tool that I think no one's really heard of it, but for the price and for the user interface, it's one of my favorites. And I've used a lot of them.
What do you know off the top of your head what the price per month is usually?
So I don't, because I do it for so many different platforms. Yeah. I think that the entry level price is pretty affordable, around like $20 a month. Yeah. I pay, I think, like $900 a year or something for mine. But again, I'm hosting to a lot of social media accounts for our business. Got so if you're just getting started and you only need to have that one, go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. If you're only posting like 4 or 5, I believe it's pretty affordable at like $15 to $20 a month. don't hold me to that.
I mean, that would be a significant cost savings. So I'm going to go check that out. Seriously. Gold nugget.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it has great reviews. It's you can even boost posts if boosting is your thing. I always like using Ads Manager if I'm going to be putting money behind any social media posts. But if you want to just keep everything in one little platform, that is you can do it all from there.
Really?
Even on LinkedIn too. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, Katie, thank you so much for that gold nugget today.
Yeah.
If our listeners, watchers, readers, depending on where this content ends up going, want to get a hold of you or want to ask you some questions, where could they do that?
Yeah, so obviously I'm on social media. So you can follow me. I'm on Clubhouse. I'm Katie Brinkley at Clubhouse. I'm also on Instagram at I am Katie Brinkley. And then online, I'm at nextstepsocialcommunications.com.
nextstepsocialcommunications.com. Okay.
It's a mouthful.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today, for listening, for watching, for reading. Katie, again, thank you so much for being our guest today. And we will see you soon.